Hey WWE Universe, so it's Tuesday and that means it's time for my Raw review. So let's get started with John Cena coming out to the ring. There was a steel cage around the ring and he was just asking the WWE Universe why did they vote for the Wyatt family to face him last week on Raw when you could have easily given him a fair match. And at first when I heard everything he was saying, I honestly thought he was gonna turn heel, but then I was like, I know they're not gonna do that. John Cena's like their number one seller with, like kids and family and stuff like that, and I was just like, as much as I'd like him to be heel, it's just not gonna happen. And John Cena was cut off with a little kid singing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, which we all know Bray Wyatt sings randomly. And it was really disturbing. Like, all these kids were just standing there singing, and you could actually tell a lot of them weren't singing. But then Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family come out, and he tells the kids to sing with him. And so they sing with him and surround the ring. And then all of a sudden the lights turn off, and all the kids that are surrounding the ring have sheep masks on. And a little child, which this is the most creepy thing that just scared the crap out of me. This little kid is sitting on Bray Wyatt's lap with a sheep mask, and he's just laughing and laughing and laughing. And honestly, I don't know how I didn't have a nightmare about little children in sheep masks last night. That was just really disturbing. Oops, sorry. It just was odd and like made me uncomfortable. It was just creepy. And you saw John Cena just having his face in his hand, and you could just see he was just really shaken up. And after, John Cena didn't want to be interviewed, he just walked away. But later on in the night, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but this does have to do with John Cena. Later on in the night, he did say that to Renee that he was sorry. He just wasn't sure what to say at that point in time. And he's just, he's going to go full force with Bray on Sunday in their steel cage match at Extreme Rules. And he's going to kick some ass. And I was glad to see John was in better spirits, but I just don't know what to expect now. I feel like Bray Wyatt's really in John Cena's head, and I don't like that at all. And just no, Bray Wyatt, I'm never going to follow you. I'm always going to be a proud member of the C Nation. Next, we have the Usos defending their tag team championships against Ryback. This was a pretty good match. Usually Ryback's really boring, but they actually made me wonder if the title was going to switch hands. But in the end, the Usos did retain their titles. And I think it was a good match. Like, I don't know. I liked it. You could have probably done without it and had a tag match or a championship match on Sunday at Extreme Rules, but that's how WWE does it. So it was interesting and I enjoyed it. Next we have Sheamus versus Titus O'Neil. And before Sheamus could even fully get into the ring, Titus O'Neil attacked him from behind and spent a good 2 minutes just destroying Sheamus. And then all of a sudden, the ref gets Sheamus and Titus in the ring and makes sure Sheamus is okay to compete. And Sheamus just out of nowhere, after getting his butt beat for a couple minutes, hits Titus O'Neil with a bro kick and wins. And that was just weird, and I feel like Sheamus needs a new gimmick or something because I think he's getting pretty boring. Next we have Hugh Jackman and Dolph Ziggler, and if you guys don't know, Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine. They kind of buried the hatchet about when they, okay, you guys already know this, but when Hugh Jackman tagged with Dolph Ziggler the last time he was there, tag with Zack Ryder against Dolph Ziggler. He punched Dolph Ziggler in the face, and ever since then, that just hanging in the distance, but they buried the hatchet, and Magneto, played by Damien Sandow, came out, and that was just the weirdest thing. He was pretending he had superpowers, and like Hugh Jackman couldn't handle it, and then he just knocked Damien Sandow out. It was very odd, but I thought it was kind of cute and funny and, promoting Hugh Jackman's movie. I thought it was cute. Next we have Cesaro versus Jack Swagger, and we also have Paul Heyman and Zeb Coulter on their respected wrestler sides. And we see Zeb and Paul Heyman kind of get in a little scuffle, which kind of throws Jack Swagger off, and Cesaro hits a German suplex and pins Swagger that way. It was a kind of short match, but I feel like this is going to be a pretty long, awesome feud, and I really hope it is because it has so much potential. So that was an awesome match. Next we have Alberto Del Rio versus Cody Rhodes with Goldust in his corner. And we see that Cody and Goldust are kind of having some problems. And Alberto Del Rio, I honestly don't like Alberto Del Rio that much. I think he's very boring, and I just can't get into any matches he's in. It was a good match, but, Alberto hit the cross arm breaker and had Cody tap out. And Cody was just angry and kind of pushes Goldust off the side. And Goldust is just like, I'm just your brother trying to help you. And I feel like we're going to have them split up eventually. I feel like it's going to be a long process for them to split up, but then we're going to have an insane feud. Next we have Alexander Rusev with the lovely, ravishing Russian Lana. I don't know how she fits into any of her clothes. They look like they're painted on her body. It's so weird. But anyway, he goes against Xavier Woods, and during the match, R-Truth comes out and attacks Alexander Rusev, which disqualifies Xavier, and Alexander wins, but it kind of made you think, do they really have a chance if it's 2-on-1 this Sunday? Or is Alexander just going to throw him around like ragdolls and win? But this is interesting because this is Alexander's first pay-per-view, and he just got here. So that's a pretty big step. Next we have 3MB versus Los Matadores. This is a pretty quick match. 3MB won. And we're having our first WLC, I believe it was called, with El Torito and Hornswoggle this Sunday. And this is just so weird. I don't know what's going on. It's odd. I don't like this weird... Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against little people at all. Please don't think that. But it's just odd. Like, all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, we have to put them in every single match. They have to be involved. It's just... I could see Hornswoggle doing something different. I know he's probably trying to get popular to promote his movie, but it's just... It makes them look goofy, and I think that's just wrong. Next, we have Stephanie McMahon coming out to apologize to Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella. Daniel Bryan wasn't taking her apology at all. He couldn't do anything, really. He couldn't even move his neck. And he just wasn't accepting the apology, and as much as Stephanie wanted to, he wasn't taking it. And she offered Brie Bella a chance at the Divas title tonight, and that would kind of put her going into Extreme Rules as a champion, and also Daniel Bryan going in as champion, and they could both win the titles or retain the titles at Extreme Rules and walk off as champions together, and Brie really loved that idea. So next we have Paige, who is the current Divas champion, versus Brie Bella, and this ended in a no contest because Kane came out of the middle of the ring and tried to drag Brie to hell with him. And that was crazy that he just popped out of the middle of the ring. Daniel Bryan tried to save her, and she did get out of the ring, but then when she saw Daniel was being attacked, she tried to go in and help him. But in the end, Brie did get away and was able to be by Daniel's side as he was being taken to the back. This is just crazy. This is going to be an insane match Sunday, and I am loving it. Next, we have Bad News Barrett versus RVD, and the winner will be the #1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship, which is held by Big E. This was an awesome match. I don't really care for RVD. Of course, he is talented, but he's not, like... He hasn't grown on me. He's good, but he's not a favorite. Bad News Barrett won and is the new #1 contender to the Intercontinental Championship. And let me just tell you, I was so happy because we had Jack Swagger and Cesaro getting in the match because RVD was against Cesaro last week and he won, so Cesaro was still angry because Jack Swagger was involved with that too. So it was just full of anger, but Wade Barrett won, and that was great, and I am so happy for that. I'm really excited to see how this match is going to go down Sunday. Next, we have the last but not least, Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. And Evolution came out with Randy, of course, and then The Shield came out with Roman. And before the match even started, Ric Flair came out. Can you believe Ric Flair? I kind of screamed a little bit. I was so happy that Ric Flair came out, and it was kind of confusing. He talked so highly of Evolution, and then he offered his endorsements to The Shield. But then later, during the post-show, he said not to just disregard what he said. So that's really confusing, and I'm looking forward to next week seeing, or even Sunday. I don't know if Flair's going to be involved in this Sunday. Whenever he's involved, I'd like to know what's going on. But this ended in a no contest because Evolution and The Shield both got involved with each other. I thought it was a great way to end the show and going into this pay-per-view. It makes Evolution look dominant, but it also makes the Shield look dominant, and you just aren't sure what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a great show, and I'm just really curious as to how this match is going to go down because both teams are so strong, and it's just going to be an insane match. And I will be doing my Extreme Rules predictions, I think Thursday. I'm going to be putting it up Thursday. So, let me know what you guys thought of Raw and what you think will happen at Extreme Rules. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye!